Welcome back to the Crash Bandicoot 2 playthrough, where I think we're going to go through the rest of the game without any please edit moments, because we have 3 levels to go through in this part, and then the next 2 parts are going to be World 5, which just take a while in general.
So we're capping off World 4 with this part.
Yes. At least I'm pretty sure.
So you didn't do too much editing for this, right?
No, I think I only edited a few warp room segments, actually.
Okay, so this is like a good approximation of how long a skilled playthrough of this game would take. How long did the games take for you guys on like your first run through or so?
A weekend.
A weekend? Oh.
Yeah. Whereas it's more like a sitting when you know where everything is.
It's just
I played all this in one sitting. I only stopped between warp rooms to render out raw footage.
It's just weird though, because like when I was first playing games when I was like a really young kid, it would take me months to beat them at times, and maybe that was mostly just because I only really played for like an hour or two after like school or on Saturdays or whatever, and also because I tended to play a lot of longer games like RPGs, Paper Mario, Banjo, Tooie, etc. But it's just sort of weird thinking that, you know, you'd play this in a weekend and then you'd sort of be done with it. I guess that's what like rentals were for, but I didn't rent an awful lot of games either, so even that concept is sort of foreign to me. During the months where you're supposedly taken to beat the game, were you just focused solely on that game, or were you multitasking? For as long as I can remember, I've really only ever played one handheld game and one console game at the same time. So like I'd be playing Paper Mario and Pokemon, and then Banjo Tooie and Pokemon. I played a lot of Pokemon, obviously, but in the game itself, I did do an awful lot of fucking around. Like I didn't go straight to the objectives most of the time. I did sort of, you know, look for side quests and do random stuff because I was like 8 and I didn't know what to do, so I just sort of meandered about an awful lot.
So I only know in 97, 98, if it wasn't Crash, I was playing Final Fantasy VII. That's the most multitasking I did. Because generally, when I'm playing a game, I'm playing nothing but that game until I beat it. I don't like to multitask games I'm only playing for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Generally, same for me, unless one of those games is purely a multiplayer-focused game, like a Mario Kart or something like that.
My first playthrough always involves a lot of fucking around. The hole I showed off and then ignored is actually a pathway to an alternate route that I wanted to show that I knew was there, so that nobody in the comments would say, "No, go back, there's a secret exit." Yeah, I know there's a secret exit there. I am not going through it until I've gotten all the boxes in the level, because I don't want to backtrack again, especially after the atrocity that was the last part.
There, Lewis. There.
I want to get back into my groove of being able to do things without having to do the same thing over and over again. Because
well, you either got to do it with Wrath of Cortex or Twin Sanity, because I'm doing Crash 3.
I was really kind of proud of that up until that B level, and then that level just threw off my groove, and I wanted it to toss it out a window.
That's a nice winning streak you have there, Lewis.
It'd be a shame if I ended it.
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off Lewis's groove. Sorry.
I thought you were going to go with a CDI reference. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we've been quoting it so much, but I was expecting you to say, "Come back when you're richer," for some reason.
That's something that doesn't sound right here.
And if anyone's wondering why I was bothering to meticulously jump on all of those boxes, it's because it's actually less risky than trying to break the boxes quickly. Quite a lot less risky. Now, in order to get the box gem and the hidden gem in this level in one run, I think the main exit of the level isn't that far ahead, so just make sure you kill all of the rats.
Like those I just ignored.
Like I'm not doing. Because I am pro at this.
Oh! How did that happen?
Christopher Walken, when did you get here?
I'm sorry, that's kind of a habit.
They hid the warp room door behind another door. That is bullshit. Why did they do that? I left these two rats behind like a dumbass, because I'm a dumbass. But, I probably should have killed them, because they were, like, the only risk between me and the end of the level. Like, yeah, there are boulders, not boulders, barrels, but fuck the barrels, they can't do shit to me. They roll back and forth, and they don't do nothing.
Is that the same barrel graphic from Toxic Waste in the first game?
Yeah, it is.
I think so, yeah. Anyway, there are no boxes down here at all. Obviously, since we already had the box gem, there are only extra lives, like by the fuck ton. And this is the only time in the game where you have to use the mechanic where you pull yourself up to the ceiling, like a reverse crouch. And I had no idea you could do that, so the first time I played this, I was trying to manually, like, maneuver around the things, and then I got to this hyperactive thing. I was like, why? Just why? And this doesn't actually get you a gem, it's a secret warp that terminates in the middle of a line of apples. No, I want those apples. Give them back.
Maybe you could jump over them, or is it an invisible wall?
Right. I'm not sure. I think it's a place that you stand on. You can probably jump over it, but I don't know. Totally Bear is accompanied by Totally Fly, yeah. And this is the Darkness level, which we will ironically be playing before its easier cousin in the 5th world. The Darkness levels in this game work differently than the ones in Crash 1. In Crash 1, it was your mask that glowed. And if you got hit, you were screwed. In this one, you get these flies that glow and swerve around you and fly away whenever they damn well please. So don't fuck around. You keep running. And if you miss something, you're probably better off suiciding and trying that section over again than slowing down to get it.
Yeah. And again, because if you fuck up, you're ejected out of the hidden world, so you gotta go back and fall through all that shit just to get back to this level.
So yeah, just focus on getting. Treat this level almost like an animal riding section. Run through, get all the boxes you can, and yeah, I think this level has one particularly annoying part involving crates that you have to body slam.
Yeah, but the trick to that is to go ahead as far as you can using the light that's there.
The bonus level is actually kind of odd. The Firefly advances on its own, so.
Oh, does it? I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it advances on its own, and it hovers here to give you time to blow up the TNT crate. Fuck the extra life. I already have 99. Yeah, it's pretty easy otherwise, but if you let the fly get too far ahead, you're screwed.
I always just amounted that to taking too long. But, no, I never noticed that it moved on its own.
Yeah.
Here, avoid the bug. Go as far as you can, getting all the steel crates.
Yeah, and
it's kind of guesswork, but
you can sort of use the mushroom flower things in the background as guides to know how far to go. Because if you go too far, there's a pit. You'll belly flop into a pit.
I think that's the last of it.
Yeah, go back.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, those two things over there. Don't go any further when you see those. But yeah, get all the iron crates before running. And then all you have to worry about is...
You should have enough time to get like one of them in case you missed, but...
There's this big blanket of Wumpa fruit right before the pit, and I think that's supposed to be your cue to stop. Because I'm pretty sure...
Do the Wumpa fruit glow in the dark?
No, but you can still pick them up.
No, but when you're blindly belly flopping around, you'll get a whole bunch of them at once without breaking anything. I was like, okay, maybe I should just not go any further than this. It's not much of a buffer, but it's something. They line them up, like, right in front of the pit so that it's literally impossible not to get a bunch of them when you walk over there.
Suddenly, the Firefly does not come with us.
Nope. We can't jump on its head for extra lives either.
Well, that's kind of a one-and-done sort of thing. I don't think it can survive one stomp.
Ruination, a ruins level.
The second one?
Could you tell? Yeah, the second of two. I don't know why there's a mine theme in this warp room, because there are no mine levels.
I guess not to deviate too far from the original game.
The only mine thing in the original game was Koala Kong's boss.
Yeah.
It's just an odd touch, because all 4 of the other warp rooms match a level theme. There's the regular warp room, which is just your standard ruins, which you see in every level.
Oh, you said mine. Okay, I thought you said Mayan for a second.
Mayan?
Yeah.
No, I mean mines.
Okay.
No, the warp room looks like mines. It looks like, yeah. And, the second warp room is snow. And yes, you do need to activate that exclamation point thing, or otherwise those nitros won't explode when you hit the nitro crate. It's kind of a noob trap, though, because when you activate an exclamation point thing, your first impulse is probably to walk up to what you just made appear, and then one of the nitros spawns in front of you, and...
You know, it gets to a point where that's sort of aggravating. You know, you go out of your way to get a colored gem to get to a hidden pathway, and then you find out the hidden pathway platform only takes you about 2 feet to the right. Okay, now go.
Yeah. Oh god, these things from a behind-the-back perspective are annoying to time. At some point you realize that instead of... Oh, there's the bonus stage. We can see it in the background. Huh. I didn't notice that before. But, it gets to a point where you start jumping based on how many platforms ahead of you the log is bouncing, rather than trying to use depth perception.
But again, if you have quick fingers or good reflexes, you can spin those logs.
Yeah. But they don't bounce very high, so one key way of beating this involves suiciding. Yes. But you know, if you jump toward the next platform as the log bounces off the one in front of you, you will very likely jump over the log. The timing can be slightly wonky to figure out, but once you've got it, it becomes second nature.
I don't do it often, but I'm not sure if they let you get away with spinning on top of the log and whether or not that'll deflect it.
Not really sure. This bonus stage is a bit tricky. The first thing you need to do is spin that, and then be careful. God damn, be careful how you belly flop at these things, and make sure there's always at least one crate that's 2 or 3 boxes high, so that you can jump on top of the four box high stacks. Otherwise, you won't be able to belly flop all of them away.
No. Yeah, they don't give you any sort of leeway. From the
if
side.
you can't get on top of the topmost box in a stack, you won't break any of them.
Okay. Then I guess the only way you'll be able to get back on top of them, if you for some reason messed up, is to use the the slide spin jump.
Possibly, yeah. I've never tried it, so I don't know if that would necessarily get you enough height.
It does give you a reasonable amount of height. It's definitely noticeable.
This is a fucking precarious situation, and oh, right, there's a slight glitch where if you spin a box on top of another box just in time to break your spin animation before you would land on the box beneath it, you can sort of just land on boxes that you're not meant to come to a standing stop on top of. It could save your bacon a lot. That was completely by accident, and I'm glad it happened because I wasn't entirely sure I could have gotten through that without dying. No. I always die a little inside when I spin into Wumpa fruit.
You have 99 lives.
I know, but it's just a reflexive emotion, man. Like, I'm not trying to get all the fruit in the area anymore, like, just seeing them fly off into the distance is, like, tragic. Also, it's a waste of food, and you shouldn't waste food. The TNT animation has,
bigger hitbox than you think it does.
It has a longer enduring hitbox than you think it does. Like, it will still damage you in the second, in the instant that the animation disappears. You can use that to your advantage against enemies that you want to blow up with TNT, but it's also something that you want to avoid if you're being too quick at the game.
Yeah, those rotating platforms didn't give you that much trouble.
Uh-huh. The rotating platforms aren't that bad. Oh!
You got really lucky with the spin on that.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Hey, did you see me? I was jumping out to jump on the nitro box. It's like, oh, whoa, abort mission.
What the,
it would have been hilarious if I died there, though. Fortunately, Crash has some good steering while he's in midair. You don't really have to worry too much about, oh, there's a hole in the back of this particular warp room. Odd.
There's something I want to try practicing with. It's called wiggling. I think you can only do it in the first game. I'm not sure if it applies to the second or third. But if you can, when you jump with Crash and you wiggle the left and right on the D-pad, Crash, does this little jig in midair, but it also increases his speed while in the air. So you can use it in like Crash 1 to like really outrun the boulder levels, so you're not pressured so much.
Yeah, it's used for speed running.
Yeah, I want to try it out, see if I can get it down.
Weird.
Well, you're the one playing Crash 1 for your channel, right?
I think that's why I want to practice it, just so I can get it there. Because the boulder levels in Crash 1 are some of my least favorite levels in the game. If only because of just how goddamn close that rock gets to you.
Yeah, they give you a lot less leeway than the chasing levels in the other games. Oh, of course, in the chasing levels in Crash 3, you eventually have the run button.
Yeah. But then the Magnum becomes an issue because you're going too fast.
Yeah.
So now we got behaving, not as obnoxious as digging it, thankfully. But this is also where you get the purple gem.
Uh-huh. The purple gem is the only real secret in this level. Behaving is a danger mostly because the bees come at you in swarms rather than one at a time.
Yeah.
That bugs me. That whenever you burst out of the ground, you also spin. And I always freaking... Don't do that past me. Why did you spin those fruit away? Ow. That rock ran into me with its face.
Oh, you got rid of all the bees. And then you get hit by the fucking electrical gate.
But despite the bees coming at you in swarms, the amount of digging spaces that you have to hide under make them a lot less obnoxious to deal with. The only thing you have to worry about are these hammer bastards, because if they hit you while you're underground, yeah, flowers sprout out, and guess who's pushing them up?
Are there two separate animations? Like, I remember.
Wait, hold on. You can stand on those? What?
Your visual cue that you can stand on those is that if you look at them for long enough, you notice that they won't bounce like the actual nitro crates will.
Huh.
But yeah, they're just metal boxes painted like nitro boxes.
Oh wait.
And the purple gem is really early on in that path. It's like right before you actually get to any obstacles, really. So just kill yourself and go to the checkpoint, and it's like barely any further back. It's a lot easier than going through that path. And I've never actually gone through that path. I don't know where it comes out.
I've gone through it once, if only because, I never really got the idea of suiciding. Because I was still under that Crash 1 mindset that I shouldn't die at all if I want that box gem. But,
or that video game mindset that you shouldn't die?
Yeah, that too. Well, no, I'm glad I'm the kind of person that'll kill myself if I know if it saves me time.
Especially there's no real consequences.
Exactly. But yeah, I went through it just once. It's a challenge, but if you can avoid it completely, then go for it.
Where does it let out though? Will it skip boxes?
Oh, no, I think it takes you right back here.
Huh. Okay then. Kind of pointless though.
Then I haven't been. It's been a while though, so I could be wrong. So, subscribers.
Hmm. Well, bonus stage again. The bonus stages never really get that hard, especially not.
Well, they're bonus, so.
Yeah, I know. It's just, apart from the occasional tricky box or the oddly specific amount of boxes that you can jump up to body slam at, in the last bonus stage we went to, there aren't really any places where the bonus stages will trip you up. And that makes the 1 or 2 places where the bonus stages do trip you up a bit of a pain in the ass because you don't notice them.
I think the sides of a normal box that are bouncing on top of a nitro are glitched. Because I had a few occasions where, and I think it happened to Matt too in the SUV playthrough, where a normal box that was bouncing because of the bubbling nitro beneath it went up, Matt touched the side of the box, but it counted as if he hit the nitro.
Oh. That's never happened to me before.
And just because you're underground, the nitro boxes can still blow you up.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not safe under that.
Don't fucking touch.
No,
yeah,
where is it?
I wanted to spin the fucking.
Just
stop
jump on it.
doing it. Stop doing that. I get really antsy when there are a lot of nitro boxes in a closed-up space. Okay. It's terrifying.
It's like Crash is looking for an alarm clock.
I was kind of hoping that you could spin it from underground because as high up as your hand goes, it looks like you can. But no, you don't get more than one crate's height of spin hitbox there.
So is that it?
The purple gem is the odd duck out among color gems. It doesn't have a colored gem path of its own. It's only ever used at the end of the final level, where there's a pathway that requires all 5 color gems to complete, and it literally just takes you to the platform in front of the level exit. Now this is the part where Cortex tries to pass off all his previous evil doing on Embryo. Yeah, that game's final boss was just mixed up with its penultimate boss.
And if he's at it again, he will attempt to stand in our way. Beyond your
A little late for this, isn't it?
use the platform.
Yeah, at least they tried.
Now, this boss fight is literally Crash being an obstinate bastard, because Cortex told him to deliver the crystals he's got so far to his sidekick, Dr. Engine. And Crash is just like, fuck that. So Engine meets him halfway. And
No, I think Crash got crystal confused with Wumpa fruit, because Crash delivers plenty of Wumpa fruit. But
what's that? You want MacGuffins? I got MacGuffins. All shapes, all sizes. I'll give you my favorite one. You'll like it more than crystals, it's tastier.
Wait, so how are you shooting Wumpa fruit?
Instead of a spin, you have a throw fruit button. It's awkward as hell. But the object is to throw fruit into the parts of Engine's ship that open. And this was the boss that I needed my cousin to beat for me the first time I played in the game because I just could not wrap my head around it. It's
See if you can make it over here, Crash.
It's really awkward as a sudden gameplay shift.
It's no use. Give up.
It's also a boss where you don't get any you don't get any masks.
no. It's so odd because I don't know whether or not they just ran out of time for this boss idea because they didn't even bother, programming like a throw Wumpa fruit animation. It just sort of exits Crash's body.
This is exactly the egg, whatever it's called at the end of Sonic.
Viper.
Egg Viper, yeah. It's just,
The platforms do look like it.
Now he's doing a lot of the same attacks too. The arms looked a lot like things from the Egg Viper. The laser thing was a Egg Viper. Did they just really like this boss?
Well,
the Sonic Adventure team, or what?
Maybe so. I don't know.
Crash 2 came first.
Yeah, I know.
Crash Bandicoot was called Sonic's ass game in development, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do they have a watch out he's up to something moment?
No.
No.
Aww.
No, Crash Bandicoot isn't big on voice clips that play during gameplay.
There is one in this boss fight, but
This is kind of a tricky hit to get because you need to get him just as he pops up in the laser cannon that he shoots you with. Ah! He just flies out into space. You want to know Engine's story? He got hit in the skull with a missile and saved himself by operating on his own head and turning it cyborg. What?
And I think it's active too at all times.
Yeah. It's still active. When he gets mad, the jets start firing off. I think it happens in CTR.
Yeah.
What is your problem, Bandicoot?
I love this scene.
Bring me the crystals. Obtain the remaining 5.
Obtain the remaining 5 crystals from this warp room that is conspicuously inside my space station.